Amazon stock has been soaring. Amazon stock's financials came out recently and they're hitting record numbers. They are soaring. This is pushing, of course, Amazon stock a little bit higher, but where's the top to all this? AI stocks, of course, have been taking off. Nvidia, the poster child for artificial intelligence stocks, has been hitting all-time highs and just keeps going and going and going. Where's the top? Is there a top, or will things keep going further and further? I'm going to start sounding the alarms, not necessarily having anything to do with AI stocks or Amazon stock, but instead taking a look at the economy. There's things going on with economic indicators that are probably going to push the Federal Reserve to start at least pushing their verbiage and saying that they believe that they might need to raise interest rates. This will shatter these all-time highs we're at right now. Inflation's starting to move a little bit further. I wanted to break that down and give you that cautionary note if you're looking to invest in Amazon stock. Let's jump in and I'll break down what I'm looking for at the financial numbers that came out for Amazon stock. If you'd not stopped by my channel before, first and foremost, I am an economist and I structure my analysis when I look at any individual stock. I ask the question, what's going on with the economy? And actually, a lot of great things are going on with the economy, but unfortunately, it's a little too good. We're not seeing inflation numbers drop as rapidly as the Federal Reserve is likely to want. They do have a meeting coming up this week with, not a meeting, I'm sorry, their Federal Reserve chairman is going to be speaking in front of the Congress and answering a lot of questions. Very likely, he could say something that might make the market shudder a little bit. My thinking is he's going to repeat what he just said about 2-3 weeks ago in his 60 Minutes interview. And even that got the market to sell off a little bit on a Sunday night after the interview. But the stock market just kept on going. This time, however, I think the Federal Reserve is going to start reiterating over and over and over again that they don't see the 2% being hit at its current rate. That will easily start shuttering stocks. Amazon stock is one of them. First off, AI stocks, and broadly speaking, have been going much higher very rapidly, and there's a lot of future growth. Now, Amazon as an AI stock, Amazon stock itself, you've got AWS in there. The cloud is going to be such a huge variable with AI stocks, and Amazon is certainly there. But what happens is if the economy needs to slow down, all these AI stocks, despite the fact that they're going to be building up and there is so much going on there, if the Federal Reserve needs to choke out the economy a little bit and push interest rates up even further from where they are, that will still bring Amazon stock and all other AI stocks down. So that's one of the things that from an economist standpoint and a value investor standpoint, that's what I'm always kind of evaluating. What is the environment that any particular stock is involved in? Given that, Amazon stock itself right now, a little overpriced. Moving forward, Amazon stock likely to sell off, but then it becomes a buy on the dip because you still have the opportunity for AI stock investments. So that's something that you really need to kind of encapsulate when you're looking at these AI stocks. Here I'm taking a look at AMZN stock, Amazon stock, AMZN being the ticker symbol. And of course, they've just been going higher and higher along with all other AI stocks. Taking a look at quarterly revenue, solid quarterly revenue increases. They will continue to move higher. Here, now I put a video out last quarter after the financial numbers for Amazon stock last quarter. I had to move 2024 numbers higher, projected revenues for Amazon stock from the previous quarter. Analysts believe that they're going to earn a little bit more. And I also had to move 2025 up just a little bit more as well. Solid. What's happening is AI itself is going to really propel a lot of these companies forward. But that's with a big asterisk. What's going to happen with the economy? we're seeing inflation not fall as fast as the Federal Reserve is going to want. They're at the very least going to start talking interest rates higher, saying we don't see that target rate hitting. This will push the 10-year higher. This will pull stocks downward. Then we'll see what kind of revenues Amazon can generate in that kind of environment, because that will affect interest rates moving higher is going to affect consumers across the board. Gross margins for Amazon for the quarter, 45.5, a little bit of a dip, but that didn't really seem to matter too much to operating margins, just down 0.1% there. Net margins kind of staying flat from the 6.9 to 6.3 for net margins. So every $100 that Amazon's bringing in, they're bringing in $6.30, or they're keeping $6.30. Earnings per share looked at $1 for the quarter, but projected earnings per share $4.16. Now I've seen a couple. I've seen 4.08. I've seen 4.04. The average that I'm looking at is 4.16 for earnings per share projected for 2024. 2025 is much higher, but I don't put my analysis based on 2 years out. I just look at the next 4 quarters, and the yield on that, if you take the 178.50. The current price for Amazon stock, AMZN, you see that AMZN is yielding about 2.33% given the next 4 quarters. That's a bit low. Again, 2025 is going to be moving higher, but if the stock market falls, Amazon, from a price perspective, would increase their yield. So that's something to keep in mind. I do believe the Federal Reserve is going to start rattling the cages a little bit with interest rates. They did announce that they needed more 2-year notes, meaning they're going to buy more 2-year treasuries, which would have pushed price up. That sends yields downward. That was sort of a gimme for the bond yields, and the stock market kind of rallied on that. But I think that's going to be short-lived, especially considering the economic indicators we just got last week. Regardless, here's a look at Amazon stock 1 week chart. We are pushing closer to all-time highs for Amazon stock. Again, I think the Federal Reserve is probably going to start clamoring about inflation not hitting their 2% target rate at a fast enough pace that they may have to consider pushing interest rates higher, even if it's just a quarter of a point. The nice thing about the Federal Reserve is all they have to do is just start talking. And all of a sudden, yields move without them really having to do anything. Unfortunately, that results in stocks moving lower. Now, the beginning of last year, 1 year ago, 2023, Amazon stock, of course, trading all the way down to 180. That's less than 50%. I don't know that we're necessarily going to see a move that much lower, simply because there's so much potential for AI with Amazon, and that could keep Amazon stock elevated to some extent. But Amazon stock itself right now, with the $4.16 we're looking at for 2024, the price point right now is a bit rich at $4.16. If Amazon stock hit 100, that's $78 lower. That would be 4.14%. That would still be below the current yield on the 10-year Treasury. Keep that in mind if you're looking for a target entry price. That could be that target entry price. If we start to see a big sell-off because of what's going on, you need to look at Amazon stock and say, you know what? They probably will still be able to bring in some solid revenue gains because of the move for AI. And Amazon stock, at the very least, will be supported by that. 4%, 4.16% at $100. That could be a possibility. Make sure to hit that like and follow button. What I do is I break down all these stocks based on value investing. But first and foremost, I ask the question, what's going on with the economy, and how could economic indicators affect bond yields, which would affect the stock market and Amazon stock itself? Like and follow button is down below. Thanks so much. We'll see you in the next video.